What the hell are you doing here? So, I wanted to make a different video about the Pumpkin Festival at first, but with everything that happened I decided it's best to make a compilation of the whole storyline of Darien, along with everything else we know. Including, of course, this event. There's a lot, and I mean really a lot, we can go over, so I guess here's a little video to catch up on. For everyone new to the game and this channel, hey, I'm Eiko, the guy that dedicated himself too much to lore, and today I will tell you everything you need to know about the Pumpkin Festival's lore and stories. There will be timestamps so you can jump around stuff that interests you more freely, and to also kill the watch time on this video. Before we really dive into Darien, actually I can recommend that you watch my lore video I did before, so you have a summary of everything we have uncovered so far. It will be brought up later as soon as we talk about the third festival content, and yeah, there's really a lot to go over, so I hope you enjoy, grab a snack and a drink, and enjoy the video. So before we go deeper into the storyline of this event, we should talk about who actually Darien is. Darien is an NPC that was first introduced in the first Pumpkin Festival starting in October 23, better said, Year 2, Fate 2. I sadly don't have footage from it, but some screenshots, so I'm gonna just put those on there. On Stonedead we meet Darien, a merchant who seemingly sells pumpkin-themed goodies to the royals, likely the capital city. Under time pressure, Darien tries to find a shortcut but loses his wares in the process. This is where we step in and try to help him. We try to recover his goods he lost, so he doesn't get hanged by the king. He mentions that in his text, so he seems to be pretty scared of whatever the king could do to him, maybe even foreshadowing that Darien well knew what he did with his wares, because in the second event we find out that most of the things he sells were fakes. The first event therefore has one of the most basic storylines where you just collect pumpkins for him and he trades them for some leftover goodies we can take, some leftover wares, and with that he settles off again, fixes his cart, and then we don't hear anything from him until the second Pumpkin Festival. The second event is more complicated, I would say, in the fact that it basically has two questlines. The first one being the royal soldiers were tasked with retrieving Darien's client list that could drop from the fake pumpkin bags. Yes, it was revealed in this event that Darien was a fraud all along, fooling the king with his fake goods. This begs one question though. If those items are fake, are the items in the first event we have obtained also fake, or were those ones real? What would mean that Darien has made a radical shift in the years between the first and the second Pumpkin Festival, starting to become a fraud. Maybe this was his plan all along, to get trust from the king and then fool him, but we don't know yet. Whatever it is, the guards need help to find Darien, so we're gonna help them. They mentioned Darien was last seen south of the city, which is odd if they talk about Oakwood, since Oakwood is near a cliff towards the south. It may be possible that they're also talking about the capital or a big city that may be north from us, therefore making Oakwood and Stoneglade the southern parts. But geography of the Heartwood world is a whole other can of worms I will not open for the sake of this video, cause this video is gonna be long either way. The second questline is also pretty interesting and tasks us with helping ghosts. Ghosts that come from the Vale and have still business to do back in the world of the living. Those ghosts include Annabelle, a scared ghost who wants us to get rid of animals that scare her on her way home, especially boars. If we help her, she also mentions that she thinks we are joking when we talk about ghosts, seemingly showing us that not every ghost is self-aware of their presence or their state of being. She also acts super surprised as we tell her she's a ghost. So we help her one last time, getting her revenge by killing the vultures that killed her, so we can let the spirit finally rest. As a thanks for that, she gives us a special pendant and then leaves back to the Vale. Another ghost we meet is the undead rogue. He wants to train us by killing bats and skeleton mages. Sadly, most what he says is not that interesting, so I will just skip him for now. An NPC who is very interesting though is Roderick, the son of Timon, the grieving father. He mentions that his soul is cursed, unable to leave the haunted graveyard, since his soul now belongs to the mine. I won't take away that much for now, cause this point will come up later in the video, but all I can say is that his soul might be on the graveyard. That means his body still roams the mine somewhere without his control. This makes the story pretty sad, cause his father is still grieving for his death and doesn't seem to even notice Roderick when he's right beside him. while maybe even adventurers have killed Roderick's body once and for all in the mines, cause he was turned into a skeleton after his death, most likely. The last one we can talk about is a Shadowfang archer who got killed by worms and seeks revenge, but he also tasks us with killing some Greenflock archers, of course, to show that the Shadowfang archers are the best. At the end he offers us the spectral polearm and the staff, and I really like this weapon, it's pretty cool. So, closing thoughts on ghosts, before we move on. They are a nice addition to the world, reminding me a lot about the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, and seemingly don't appear every year, so I guess the whale connection is not always strong enough to lead them to the world. So this might explain why there are no spectral themed entities in this event, because in the first one we had the spectral steed, in the second one of course we had the ghost NPCs and the spectral vulture, and this time we have nothing of that, and we got the pumpkin slime mount. So this leads us to the current event where you find Darien completely locked up into a pillory. Speaking with him reveals a cartoonishly villain-like dialogue that, along with his portrait and his definitely the Darien name, kinda reveals that someone plays his role. He is literally wearing a mask. So Darien seems to have disciples that help him, even taking the blame. This might put him pretty high in whatever hierarchy he is, especially since the guy playing him seems pretty aware of what he's doing. Pretty much convinced thanks to his chuckle. Even the guards who usually through most of the lines showed themselves as sure and proud like in the last event, where they were sure they would catch him this time, seem kinda unsure about the whole situations. Lines like, "The prisoner said he's innocent. That's how you know you got the right one." Or my favorite, "Move along, citizen. Justice has been served." Probably. Suggest that they know they got the wrong guy and try to hide their possible failure. Especially the first line sounds like an improvised threat to me, but tell me what you think about guards' lines. Either way, Darien's doppelganger seems hungry, and we allow ourselves to give him some food in the form of some pumpkins. On our way to find Darien some food, we also meet a witch at the position where once the dried anniversary statue stood. She is not only selling pumpkins in various flavors that are likely poisonous, but also has questlines for us. And there's also Sue, might be the best NPC yet. The witch's questline also has a lot of information we can talk about. Similar to the Dried Bloom, they really like dropping lore bombs in those kinds of quests. So I will just go over everything we need to know. And trust me, there's a lot of revelations just coming through this NPC alone. The witch greets us rather harshly, as an annoyance to be fair, and so she sends us off to help her, finding worms as an ingredient for cooking. But they are also full of the element of earth, linking cooking to magic, something I will come into later in this video. The next one is just curious. She mentions that she got her head from fashion in a dead city far away. What that dead city is, we don't know. It might be abandoned or destroyed, or be lost from its former glory. Whatever the city is, she definitely seemed like she had traveled around a lot in those lands. I just hope we see the city in the future, but for now she needs the ritual parts being dead vultures. Also, regarding this, I can now go on a detour. Why does Jerry react to my message and pings Koi? I was in Gen Chat when I recorded, or better said, tried to gather stuff for this video, and I shared my idea of that dead city, what it maybe could be, and then Jerry just randomly came in, type 3 awesome ping Koi, who is responsible for a lot of lore. So this either is like a, oh Koi, look, cool idea, take notes, or oh look, he's getting close to something. So I have this little theory where I think this kinda connects to Koi's work. If you don't know, Koi once had a link to the Immortal Council story in her bio, basically a kinda world-building project that links with Heartwood nowadays. It's now kinda canon cause there is the Impress the Immortal Council legacy mark that I actually obtained through an event of hers. And the abandoned city could just refer to the abandoned city, or the secret city better said, in which the Immortal Council resides in. Also the story itself is very linked to magic and sound, so it basically could be a wanted reference or an indirect stating that this place exists in the lore. I mean, fashion as a point also fits very well, just look at what Koi posted here. Hidden behind swirling, disorienting mists is the once great city of Nocturne. Previously known as the city of the arts, many citizens became cursed and sentient undead, called Nocturned. Ruled by the 5 members of the Immortal Council, the Nocturned have adapted to their new existence, but are plagued by the very mortal issue, boredom. Occasionally, the Immortal Council hosts competitions to entertain themselves, local Motuso and Nocturne Koi, has been acting as an envoy to increase the pool of competition participants. What does the Immortal Council demand this time? What do you like best in Heartwood? So this is like an event description that once posted, and very interesting is the focus on entertaining the Immortal Council. So a fashion show would, I guess, kind of fit with the Immortal Council as an entertainment procedure. It also can be noted that a lot of the pumpkin descriptions are linked to Death Magic, Nightshade, or even Nocturne. For example, the Pumpkin Spice mentions Nocturne, the Spooky Pumpkin mentions Death Magic, and the Nightshade Pumpkin just mentions that Nightshade is poisonous, linking a lot to the theme of death in this update. And therefore I'm very sorry for this detour we took here, but I just wanted to mention everything of that, because everything here is just so interesting and I wanted to get it out. So I'm sorry, and we're gonna go to the usual progression now. Well, let's just hope that does not happen again in our third quest, where she needs the elemental of air for cooking. We delivered her the earth with the worms, and now air with feathers. The next quest is about the skeletons. She said that her food poisoned people, but that the skeletons she wants us to kill are not her fault. They are from the skeletal faction, mentioning that they used the bodies to revive them for the army. That goes into what I said with the Roderick theory, that they took his body, but the soul is still left somewhere. That means that the lower tier skeletons are likely all mindless workers for them that go into the mines and collect all the ores, while the mages might be a lot smarter. You can also kinda characterize the witch in a way with the next two quests. The Bone Collector quest reveals she did not even care if you kill someone just for bones. I honestly don't care, is what she mentions. And even threatens us. Also in the Rats quest, she just says she hates them so much it would relieve her if we kill them. So that's weird. And of course she wants the Red Tails as well, that I sold. After the Red Tails quest, she goes back into wanting us to kill skeletons. This time she kinda breaks and admits she did indeed kill people with her potions, and some of them seem to be the Walking Dead in the mines. She specifically mentions workers, so I guess she just poisons a batch of workers. I do not think that every skeleton in the mines is her work, what also wouldn't make sense and kinda break a lot of immersion I think the bone mines have built up over the time. So I think she's just the cause of some undead there walking around, by of course the skeleton faction who use their dead bodies to revive them. So what do we learn? Please don't play around with magical potions or you might kill a batch of workers that come back to life as skeletons to haunt you. So quest number 9 is just weird again. It starts with her saying she did not feed the dogs as a joke I suppose, followed by her wanting to kill the dogs to free them. And there's a problem with my leading lore theory I had in the lore doc. If all of the dogs were real dogs, then it only makes Canis or Hellhound or maybe Bones, judging by the strength. However, if that is the case, then what do the dogs do in the mines? It doesn't make any sense for me to put dogs into your mine, or if they have some magic properties or sorts. Like blight recurses lands, maybe dogs have the ability to sniff ores from the ground. It's all pretty weird, so this one line likely broke parts of my lore theory I had, sadly. However, even though my lore theory broke, I have two possible ideas on how I can restructure that. So first of all, I have the theory I proposed with the fact that the dogs just have magical properties like other animals, but I think this one is like the most unlikely. What I think would be the likely theory here is the fact that it has something to do with the King and Mori, two characters we already know. The first one of them, the King, seems to have more and more relevance to the game as we progress. He was there right at the beginning of the game at the loading screen. We see more and more content regarding his guards. And as I got pointed out by Genchat as I shared my thoughts, Scoop also reminded me back of the King, as did Jerry, as I originally posted the lore document and mentioned the King in there. He also focused a bit on the King. So the King has this crown in the started up screen, where in the crown he has this weird blue crystal. There's the theory this might be Lumen, what could be very fun. So my theory then goes kinda like that. Maybe the King had experimented on animals trying to create a weaver spell. In that case he experimented with dogs. So maybe a person like Mori could be the one behind it, telling the King about it, since Mori mentioned the display of loyalty that will not be forgotten. So it could be that sometimes later, after the King experimented with Mori on the dogs and the King saw that the dogs he created are just poorly aggressive, and Canis got summoned out of nowhere, he decided to put the dogs into the cave as a kind of cover-up. Maybe he never wanted people to know that he ever did such a horrible experiment to animals. Kinda framing Candace for being the leader of hellhounds and those dogs we see in the vines actually being hellhounds. But in reality, as the suit suggests, they're just normal dogs used as a cover-up for those crimes. This is all over the place, and I know this is that way, but without further confirmations about what actually happened in the bone mines regarding Candace, who is like a big problem in the theory I have, we can't do much. This one line set us back, I think, a lot of points, but as with the theory, I try to make some kind of sense of it, and the Mori stuff still works out like I originally intended it, and might even link the king more to the mine than I thought about it. So it is a lot of rambling, and I'm still not sure if this is true. I'm probably gonna rework the whole bowman section of my lore document at some point, if I get more info. So I don't know how this all will continue. I'm, again, very sorry for the detour. This is gonna be the last one for this video, but it's just something so interesting about all of that that I just can't ignore. So I'm sorry for that, but what do you think about it? Just write it in the comments. I think this is a very important point and kinda changes a lot of what we previously thought was true. Or better said, what I previously thought was true. So, tell me what you think. Getting back on track. Also interesting is the fact that the witch mentions that she has 3 hearts in like the last sentence. This could hint on further experiments like the possible animal transformations she mentions in her line about rats, that she had them in her mouth as she transformed into Blank. But we don't know how much the witch experimented on him, or if she is like a different species that has those feature of 3 hearts. The 10th quest wants more dog teeth from us, so we gather them for the cooking. She then also mentions that cooking is linked to magic, and all the ingredients possesses magic. This gives us knowledge on how summonings work. Basically, all the ingredients of summonings have magic, and those magic combined summons a magical animal, cause it also shows that the leads are linked with magic. As I mentioned before, the blight is linked with some kind of magic or aura that poisons, blights, in that case, pieces of land. The next quest is also pretty easy, it's just kill some bats. The reason why we kill those bats, pretty funnily, is just because she is annoyed by the flapping of her wings, cause she can hear them pretty good. What also kinda goes back into the thing I opened earlier about her maybe experimenting on her with like the animal transformation, or her being like a kind of superhuman with 3 hearts, better earsight, and other things. After we kill the bats, we also then use the wings as a part of the ritual, and with that it ends with making the potion. Yeah, with that the witch quest fully ends. It ends kind of properly without anything she says after that, but we have now enough pumpkin spice to give Darien the food. We still have some stuff open regarding Darien, so let's go with it. First of all, he's still hungry, so we buy every type of pumpkin with pumpkin spice and finish the quest. At the end of the video I will add another interlude where I show you every interaction the guard can have with your skin color, cause there's an Easter egg that there's patched in, and I think this Easter egg is very funny, so if you're interested in that, you can stay to the end and watch me go through all the lines. As we feed the Darien fake, he finally admits that he is indeed a doppelganger. Unsure why he ever accepted this gig to begin with, the last pumpkin finally breaks him entirely, turning his name into not Darien. He's done, and he once and for all tells us that he's not the Darien we were searching for. The mastermind is still on the loose. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm still very conflicted on many things in here, so if you have any more ideas, then feel free to write them in the comments. As always, I hope you have enjoyed, and now I will leave you with me looking at the Easter egg. I hope you enjoy. So now to the extra dialogue you can get while changing your skin color with the pumpkins. We start with the green one. He says, "I'll scrub that color off you if I have to. You got 5 seconds before I start spraying disinfectant something. Back, creature! You smell like a swamp rot. Steady business. You got 5 seconds before I start spraying Disinfectant. I can't read. You smell like swamp road, steady business, yeah. So he's like kinda, stay back, I don't want whatever you've got. He has some funny voice lines. Yeah. So the next one, the magic cover from last, they give him nausea. The next one I will use is the Toadskin Pumpkin. Your skin feels oddly itchy if you hold it too long, surely nothing that will happen if you eat it. And return yellow. You blend right in with the decorations, convenient for sneaking around there. You're orange. Should I be saluting or carving you? Ah, another pumpkin cultist. Don't look at me in orange, it's suspicious. Oh no, it's spreading. The pumpkins are turning people now. Ah, that's all I think all. Pumpkin cult? Stop looking smug, you oversized tangerine. Ah, no, no. Yeah, that's the all the orange ones. It's more yellow though. That's weird. Then a smoky pumpkin. You can feel the blood drain from your face, even being by this. Death magic pulls within. If my character dies, I don't know. We turn blue with that really pale. You make the hair so my hair is stand up. You're not supposed to be out of your coffin until nightfall. Keep your distance, you're looking at that. I slap the ghost right off you if you have to. You make the hair so my hair is stand up. Yeah. If you start floating, I'm feeling for you in retirement. If I throw garlic at you, it's not personal. I loved it. So yeah, he comments on me on Nightfall, that makes some death magic in there. Ah, it's cute. Are you cold or cursed? Either way, don't touch me. Like really funny. And then the last one, the Nitro Pumpkin. You're fairly certain nitrate is poisonous. Why would you combine it with a pumpkin? And I'm purple. We were told not to touch the purple ones. Stop right there, Lavender Menace. Keep walking, Grape Wizard. I saw that, I think. Grape Wizard is great. Holy shit, I love Grape Wizard. Stop right there, Lavender Menace. Whoa, you look like a grape someone cast a spell on. Hands where I can see them, no hocus pocus. Stop right there, Lavender Menace. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's our alliance. I hope you liked them. I hope you liked my little voice acting of the god. Yeah, this was the Pumpkin Festival. As I said, this video was kinda full of everything, so I'm sorry for that. It's a lot of content I put in this video, so I hope you still enjoyed. If there are any questions or our stuff, the lot of comments link down below. You can write comments and all. And if you're interested about a follow-up video to this one, where I kinda compile everything now but the bow mines now, then just write in the comments. I try to do my best. And otherwise I wish you all a happy Pumpkin Festival and good days and good RNG. See you around.